Okaeri nasai, brave heroes. Welcome home. I'm Ash, this is HeroQuest, and I can't wait for subtitles to absolutely butcher all of that. And this is HeroQuest. This game was developed by Milton Bradley Games with Games Workshop in 1991, this being the Japanese version of the game, released exclusively in Japan with the help of Takara, their classic motto in the corner here, playing is change. But the Japanese version of HeroQuest is not just a Japanese translation of HeroQuest. This game is significantly different in a number of ways from its UK and US counterparts. The story, the quests, the rule set, combat progression, even the name of the final enemy is different in the overseas version of this classic game. It is my aim to go over absolutely everything here with a fine-tooth comb and show you everything in the box. This is actually my holy grail game. It's a game that I knew I would have eventually, but I never dreamed that I would have it so soon. Indeed, it feels like so much meaning has been lost. I'm not sure what ambitions I have anymore. What is this channel now? You'll note right off the bat they were able to use Les Edwards' classic iconic artwork for the cover. I can personally see no other acceptable option. The subtitle refers to HeroQuest as an RPG board game. It is still intended for 2 to 5 players, this time ages 13 and up. Includes a step-up rule, but it still purports to be an experience containing myriad of monsters and traps. It's the dungeon crawl experience you know and love, but this time with strong influence from the JRPG scene, the likes of which you might have experienced as a kid playing Dragon Quest, or Dragon Warrior if you grew up in the US. Indeed, we have a level up system with HeroQuest's Japanese version. I absolutely love how they were able to nail the vibe of the title. They chose an awesome katakana font to convey the HeroQuest logo. They even have the epic stone embossing, if you will. Everything on the cover of the board absolutely pops. They did a fantastic job. Turning this around, there is going to be a lot of text in this video that is presented in its Japanese form. You are more than welcome to pause the video and use whatever translation tools you have, or you can source one of the translations that are now available. I'm going to be keeping nearby the faithful translation created by HispaZargon, which I believe you can find on the old inn. You'll forgive me for not linking directly to it below, but you should be able to find it with what I provide in the links below. The quest book, the rule book, and card mechanics and texts are different than they are from the US and UK counterparts, and the game generally will have the same flow, but it will have a different feel, a bit of a different theme. We're not fighting the ever-encroaching, always-to-win forces of chaos. We're not fighting the contemporary forces of dread, although there are some subtle named references to dread in the quest book. We are fighting none other than the Demon King, Grimdead. But at any rate, I need to go ahead and warn you that there will be spoilers for pretty much every one of the quests ahead, because we are looking at everything here. So again, pause video, translation app if you need to. I'm going to be looking at the translation provided by HispaZargon also, and we will get through some of the differences between this and its overseas counterparts, which there are many. The quest book is almost a completely different quest book. So buckle up, buttercups. That was weird. I I probably won't use that again. They reused the back art, not art, the back photograph as well of the children playing. We are not seeing Japanese children play this game. We are also not seeing the kids in the back of the US box playing this game. So these must be kids from the UK version of the game, which would make sense because we have this sort of unnamed quest book. Now, it is my intention to show you everything on the box and inside the box. We're going to go over every page of every document with a fine-tooth comb. I would like for this to be the most detailed and highest quality video for this game, at least for some time to come. But all of the text is going to be in Japanese, so you can feel free to pause the video if you would like to run anything through a translator app, and then you can see for yourself the myriad of differences between this game and the UK and US counterparts. I can tell you that the quest book is almost completely different. So if you are looking for canonical adventures that were designed with the level up system introduced in this version of the game, you will get a wealth of inspiration from the adventures in the quest book with this game. We've got our contents list here in the lower corner. You'll note that this is the photograph, I believe, used for the back of the basic UK edition of the game. These are not the American kids, and they opted not to take a new photograph of Japanese children playing the game, which I think is fine. They just reused the assets they had because they had the rights to do so, and that's fine. We are now fighting not against Zargon, not against any sort of unstoppable forces of chaos that will eventually consume the world. We are fighting against an evil demon king who has kidnapped a princess, and his name is Grimdead. Do you know Grimdead? This is the Japanese name for the big bad evil guy. Just as in the US we had Zargon, and in the UK and beyond Morcar, Grimdead is our ultimate enemy in this version of the game. We have descriptions of the 4 heroes here, and a brief overview of how the players will interact with this game. Turning it around, I want to tell you that my copy of this game, and this is an original, it's not a reproduction or anything like that, but the box is definitely a slightly different material than the games that I own, and I have a copy of the US version of HeroQuest, and I have a copy of the UK version of Advanced HeroQuest. This box feels quite different. It actually feels like the kind of material that they would use if they intended for you to open the box from the side, and I don't know how to describe it any better than that. The material is just slightly thinner. It's more prone to becoming wavy, and my copy is just a little bit wavy. That's fine. I don't mind that. It's in beautiful condition, and the contents inside are in even better condition. Well, most of the contents, you'll see. I'm going to stop flipping the box over repeatedly. Now, I've already mentioned HispaZargon, but it is at this point that I wish to shout out and thank HispaZargon for his amazing work in making an English translation available of the Japanese HeroQuest rulebook and quest book and cards. And yes, it does bear repeating that these are not just translations of the materials that we already have in the US and in the UK. These are translations of completely original documents that were created for the Japanese version of the game. They are considered high quality and they are well regarded by the fan base, so thank you, HispaZargon, for making this game accessible to those who cannot speak or read Japanese. And yes, I do have a kindergartner level of Japanese literacy, and I do know how to read kana, so things like this I can absolutely read, but when it comes to the more complex symbols that you might see, the kanji, those I still need help with. I also want to take this moment, this opportunity, to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to the kind viewer who assisted me in locating a copy of this exceedingly rare game. I recently let one of these games slip through my fingers because, well, I was outbid, plain and simple. But I'm so happy that I was outbid, and I can't believe my miraculous luck that another copy would appear such a short time later. I really thought I would have to wait years before I would see this in the wild again. So thank you, Liminal Sub. This is the first time I've seen a classic HeroQuest game with no assembly instructions under the lid. I've praised this game for what feels like eons, and this one has bamboozled me. The smell of old board game absolutely hits my nostrils. It's not offensive. There are some things I might want to pay attention to, though. We have some very, very subtle browning or yellowing on the paper components, and I think it would behoove me to research how to gently clean this off to prevent it from spreading. We are immediately met with the quest book and the rule book. It is the English translation of the quest book that I have handy nearby so we can do direct comparisons. the rule book, you'll notice I have some very slight yellowing, same kind that was in the lid of the box. You don't want that to spread around too much if it can activate in any way. I have a treasure trove, a museum of games in here that this could absolutely affect, so we'll have to be very careful and not handle that too much, but inside the rulebook is absolutely pristine. We'll go over both of these much closer here in just a little bit, but I wanted to show you on the back of this book, we have a canonical map of the area in which all of our quests take place. It is canonical that Island Neef is named so because all of these are in English. This might seem like a strange choice, but it is in no way uncommon. We see Biala, Way, Pain, Snow Island, Kingdom of Grimdead, Ladal, Fiend, Zaus, the Star Lakes, the Black Mountain in Rickarm, Lask, the Spirits Valley, the Frozen Ocean, Godo, the White Mountain in Ushiel, and Neef Island. Our quest is going to take us all over. We'll be visiting those places pretty soon. For those wondering if there is any change in the contents of the board, there is not. In fact, it is using the same board distributed in the UK and US territories, and presumably everywhere else in the world that the game was available. 1989, Milton Bradley. Board part number 4271ML489, same coloration, same everything. We have a little bit of wear along the crease, but I don't think it's because this was opened and closed. This might actually be the best condition board that I have. I think it's just because it stayed closed for so very long and was never played. And the reason I say never played is because everything is still sealed and on sprue. All of the tiles are still unpunched. You are looking at a near 100% brand new version of this game. I could scarcely believe it myself, and I am going to keep everything unpunched. So everything is going to remain as we see it here. There will be no punching of the tiles on this episode of HeroQuest. We have the names of all of the furniture in Japanese on the reverse of all of the tiles. Presumably they are going to be the exact same graphics. We have the open door pieces, closed door pieces. Elsewhere, we have our adventure cards outlining the names of each of the heroes, their descriptions, the amount of combat dice that they roll for attack, defense, and movement respectively before sharing their body points and mind points. All of these stats are the exact same for these heroes. Turning over the tile sheet very carefully, we have the HispaZargon screen showing you the names of all of the furniture as well as the tiles and explaining the traps, giving information about Quest 4. Yeah, the auction that I lost was not for a brand new copy of this game, so I just can't believe my stupid luck. This is an incredible find. Could not ask for anything more. We are otherwise using the exact same graphics. All of the visuals are the same as all of the other territories of the game. Closed door, open door, stairs, the throne, the 2-tile wide rock walls, the fireplace, the cabinet, front and back, the pit traps, the falling rock traps and rubble tiles, the wraparounds for the various desks and tables used in the game, the tops of the individual normal tables, the treasure chests, bookshelves, and the reverse text for the heroes, which I will show you before closing this sheet up, before some of these tiles start to really pop loose. Something I'm not going to be able to control here pretty soon. Now we see references to Quest 4 throughout the documents here, but we've also got references to other quests on the back of these character cards. We've got some details as to what can happen when these characters level up, and all 4 characters have different texts, which infers that they will play increasingly differently from one another as the game goes on. Okay, folding that up before it breaks. If you've never seen brand new HeroQuest miniatures on sprues, it is a sight to behold. I think the most destruction that I'm willing to do to this thing today is unfasten the tape that holds these sprues in their baggy prison. I smell old plastic. These guys are the exact same sculpts that you know and love. They are highly recognizable. It's kind of interesting to see how they were originally arranged on the sprues. Our 5-6 goblins and our 3 Famir shared one side of a sprue, while the 8 orcs shared the other. Our 8th orc is in the bag. He has fallen off. He has unsprued himself. The color difference in the monsters, heroes, and furniture plastic is very subtly different between regions, and the US colors are just a little bit brighter, while the UK colors are a bit more drab. And I don't mean drab in a bad way. They are just slightly muted, ever so slightly muted compared to the American minis. It looks like these miniatures have the UK coloration, the UK formula mixture of the plastic and color chips that would be used to manufacture them. Here's all of our brown furniture pieces, treasure chests, candlesticks, torture rack handles, sides of the throne, a little bit of flash along the top of the chair's frame. Totally fine though, I'm not going to complain about flash. Seeing these on their sprue really helps me to appreciate their manufacturing process. I so wish that we still made things basically like this. I mean, I know Games Workshop does. Everything you buy that's Games Workshop is going to look like an absolute mess, a sort of labyrinth of flat plastic with tiny numbers and contact points that you snip to free the figurines. I'll complain about putting a Games Workshop miniature together because in the age of Sigmar, they believed that everything should have a pointy spike. Everything. What's that you say? Games Workshop has a miniature of just a perfect sphere? Too bad, you're gonna puncture your fingers breaking it out of its sprue anyway. But I would still rather put together my miniatures. I don't know, I'm old like that, I guess. I mean, there's something special about having all of your miniatures presented this way, and while the box does have a miniature well, technically, and this is the only box I've ever seen to have this setup for HeroQuest, basically a well for your pads and a well for your cards, which is, as is all too common, too short to accommodate all of the cards that come with the game, so they will inevitably spill out and fall into the rest of the box. I love when manufacturers still do this. There's something to be said for a well-crafted tray that has the wells that make it easy to pull all of your miniatures out and also keep them protected when they are stored away. But there's also something highly personal about taking the miniatures off the sprue and coming up with your own special storage solution to keep them from rattling around the box while you're, I don't know what they expect you to do with it, play football with it. Anyway, these are the original Games Workshop sprues used for all of the other versions of classic HeroQuest, and it is awesome to hold in my hands sprues that were manufactured over 25 years ago. It's amazing. The plastic is held up extremely well. That formulation should be shared with the public. It is tried, it is true. What's under the tray? Just more box, nothing special. Be very careful. There we go. We can just pop that right out. Did that fix the card well height? Nope, the card well height is still bad. We have a dice well underneath the card well, and these are the best condition HeroQuest dice I will ever own. I doubt they have even been rolled. I think what I'm doing now is the most rolling they have ever seen in their long, uneventful life. I love the wooden dice of HeroQuest. I will never not love the wooden dice. I don't care how much of the paint chips away as you roll them throughout the years. That's just the sign of well-loved dice for a good game. I've seen people talk about modern dungeon crawler standards as if there's some sort of unwritten rule book that says how to make a great modern dungeon crawler. I've seen way more bad dungeon crawlers developed in the contemporary than I have seen bad classic dungeon crawlers. I'm not so sure that there is such a thing as a dungeon crawler that represents what it means to be modern, and I don't think modernity is the equivalent of either good or suitably complex. Some of these cards have definitely been taken out. They've been shuffled or messed with in some way. I could absolutely understand if someone was taking an inventory. I'm gonna definitely clean this tray out. The Japanese game shares the convention of having your armory on cards instead of on an overlay that comes stored in the box. Now, as fond of a memory as I have of consulting that overlay and ordering my weapons in between quests, I do really like the equipment being on cards for HeroQuest. Every single card is different. No two cards have been alike in my sorting of this deck. Different direction, orientation, backwards, upside down. This is one of the most frustrating sortations I've ever had. It goes in my top 10 easily. There are only 64 cards, and I'm angry. What you are about to see here will change the way you look at HeroQuest forever. Actually, we're going to hold off on this. We're going to take a look at the rest of our miniatures. I will probably keep these guys in their bag, however, because I just can't bring myself to open this bag and let new miniatures into the world. I see the spores are here on the bag as well. We're gonna definitely clean those up. Yeah, everybody just has the slightly less vivid coloration on them, which tells me that they were using sculpts sent from the UK. I would not be surprised if pretty much everything was sourced. We do have some damage. One of our skeletons has lost his feet. He's kind of dancing around this package, free of his sprue trappings. It was probably the dwarf, though, that did it. He was right behind that skeleton. Definitely, what would you call a slayer of the undead? I don't think it would be undead slayer. A death slayer? I know I'm getting into Games Workshop territory, which is absolutely nowhere present in this game. And I mean canonically nowhere. The Famir are called mono lizards. The Chaos Warriors are called Dark Warriors. And the Chaos Sorcerer is called Evil God. No joke, one of the quests says use the Evil God miniature to represent Princess Miku. It's fantastic. We've looked at all of the miniatures. How much do you think it would cost to produce this exact game in this exact way these days? You've got 5 separate sculpts cast in 5 separate colors. That is to say, 1 sculpt equals 1 sprue. This is actually our spot, our inlay for the books. After I clean everything up, I will include my English translation of both of the books and the cards in the box. I want to show you the character sheets. Now, I could just go ahead and rip away this top sheet. And I think I might do that. I don't actually want to spread whatever's on here. So we will remove the top sheet. After 25 plus years of service, this guy's gotta go. You've got checkboxes to mark whenever you complete your quests. You won't necessarily need to check off all of these as you progress through the campaign here, because you do have a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure element to this game. Not every single quest is mandatory to complete, a mechanic thought by many to be introduced in the jungles of Delthrak. And I suppose as far as the mainstream is concerned, it was. You can record your character name and the character type here. Just circle one of the 4 hero types that you are. Keep track of your ever-changing BP and MP, making a note of the max values of each. Gold, equipment, standard fare for your character sheets. Nothing really different here. I'd like to go over all of the cards now that I painstakingly sorted. First up, we have the fire spells, which include Fireball, Fire of Wrath, and Courage. The water spells, oh yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit of that yellowing here also. The near perfect and unplayed condition of the miniatures and the unpunched tiles condition is a little offset by the discovery of this yellowing, but it is something that I fully believe is treatable with a delicate hand. Let's go on to the air spells. It looks like this particular genie is a bit weaker than its counterparts, allowing you to roll 3 combat dice. No doubt there are many other differences that exist between the spells here and their counterparts. Our stone magic is up next. Pass through rock, a classic, healing, and rock skin. Rock skin is universal. I want to show you next the monster cards. The camera is actually reporting the coloration of these cards very accurately. Just in case you thought they needed to be more red, we have the skeleton. What's this? We have an additional stat on the card. Yes, we have an award of gold. And the stats of the monsters are not all necessarily going to be the same as their counterparts, which is something that you have to be used to by now. If you're looking at the Japanese version of HeroQuest, you probably know about the differences in BP between the US and UK versions of HeroQuest. But this alters again with some of the monsters in the Japanese version. The zombie has 20 gold. The goblin, a mere 5 gold. The mummy's combat dice, 3 and 4 respectively, only 1 BP, 50 gold reward, 4 movement squares. The gargoyle moves 6 squares, rolls 4 for attack and defense, has 2 body points and 4 mind points. It awards 150 gold. The mono lizard, 30 gold. It only has 1 BP, but it rolls 3 attack and 3 defense. The orc, Oku, in this game, 8 squares, 3 attack, 2 defense, 1 body, 2 minds, 20 gold. Our dark warrior moves 6 squares, rolls 3 attack, 4 defense, has 2 body points, 3 mind points, and awards 100 gold. Next up, the myriad of treasure cards. All of these should be absolutely familiar to you. We had our healing potion. We have the chain mail. We have the wandering monster. Samayo Monster. This is the first card that does not look familiar to me, but it does pertain to the zombie, skeleton, mummy, and other undead monsters. Another healing potion. Another wandering monster. Gold. Just gold. Looks like you'll roll a single 6-sided die in this card's text and multiply it by 10 to get the amount of gold that you have found. We have 25 gold pieces here. Another wandering monster, a gem, precious stone, another wandering monster, a trap, which could reduce your body points by 1. The cards just go on like this. This is a little bit different. A speed potion. That is artwork I haven't seen before. Frankly, it looks extremely uncomfortable. Text there to show you exactly what that's going to do. I bet we can all guess. We have a treasure chest full of gold. We have the power potion. We have the trap. This time it is a spike pit floor. Another trap, arrow this time, wandering monster. The heroic brew looks to be well documented. Something tells me that we're not going to see nearly as many vagaries in this edition of the game. Gold again, 35 gold coins, and then a gem that's worth 80 gold coins. Next, we shall look at the artifacts. There are precious few of these, only 5. These artifacts are sacred treasures. We have the freeze bow, which should be used by the elf. We have the flame axe, which should be used by the dwarf. We have the silver sword, which should be used by the barbarian. And we have the Lycal staff, which should be used by the wizard. You'll quest for these treasures one at a time across 4 separate adventures to bring them all together. We also have our lore talisman. It is with the sacred treasures that you will be able to defeat Grimdead. Next up, we'll look at our equipment cards. These are strange in that they're really glossy on one side and then just really matte on the other. They were obviously punched out of a sheet, but I don't think they were in a sheet with the game brand new. Somebody will have to let me know if they were, if that's actually how these cards were supposed to come in this game, if it is opened brand new. They have the telltale signs of being manufactured that way, but I don't know if they pass this burden on to the user, or if these are just cards when they come to you. We have the spear, or yari. We have the hand axe. Oh, these seem to have prices also at the bottom. I don't know if they're buy prices or sale prices, but this is 150 gold, 250 gold. The manto, which is a cloak of some kind, 350 gold. The short sword, 250 gold. Looks like this allows you to roll 3 combat dice. The crossbow, 3 combat dice, 350 gold. The shield, 1 additional defense dice, 150 gold. The broadsword, 500 gold, but 4 attack dice. The heal potion for 200 gold, a reasonable price, I think. The konbo for 100 gold. This is a staff. Another healing potion, another shield. Kabuto, or helmet. This is 250 gold and allows you to roll 1 additional defense dice. Another healing potion, another helmet. A plate armor, which is 850 gold. Don't scoff at that number. Realize that every enemy in this game gives you a gold award. You would want to price things accordingly and raise the prices of everything, this being the case. This is 4 combat dice in defense, 1 more healing potion. And that's the difference of all of the cards, character sheets, miniatures, tiles. I would like to go over the rulebook now. I'll go over things slowly, but I'll be talking quite a bit less for this section because I don't really have much to say. Should you choose to stop the video to read any of the translation here, please be my guest to do so. The instructions for assembly are on the first page of this rulebook. Then we have our basic details of the game, an explanation of what it is and how to play, number of players, the object of the game, terms that are used in the game, such as stats, clearly a definition of adjacency, examples given, A and B, an explanation of the character panels to actually reduce the blurring by zooming in a little bit and holding the book back in case you need to use a translation app on your screen to check this out. An explanation of the character sheets, an explanation of the quest book, and the quest book is laid out just like the counterparts that we know and love. I mean, why mess with perfection? In this, we have our dungeon map, our flavor text, our quest rules. Oops, let's back up a little bit so you can get all of the text in here if you need it. And the end of quest text. This also provides an explanation for the screen the combat dice and the monster cards, as well as the equipment and treasure cards. The contents of the game is covered here as well. An explanation of the setting, an explanation of the turns and turn order, what happens during hero play, what happens during Demon King play. More game rules, outlines of rooms, doorways, corridors. It should be worth noting that you can get this document, the original Japanese scan. That should be available in a number of places. I believe it should be available on Yield-In if you go looking for it. So you need not refer to this video as any sort of archive or anything, but I thought that this detail would be very nice to have for anybody who doesn't want to go through the trouble of seeking the document down, or if they just wanted to flash translate something on the spot. This obviously talks about blocked passages, additional rule explanations, an explanation of how damage is afflicted and applied. We have a little bit of a flow chart for combat here, which I think is great. Gives you the examples of what happens when you versus the enemy roll the combat dice and get these results. Additional combat rules here. Of important note, the game quests are separated into chapters of a kind, and in each chapter we have a different set of rules to follow. Beginner rules, intermediate rules, and advanced rules. Under the beginner magic rules, only the magician can use beginner magic, and only one type of magic can be used under the beginner rules. That would be first aid, and it can be cast on yourself or an ally. The hero who has this magic cast on recovers 1 BP, and this can be cast as many times as wanted during the game. Just a quick peek in the back reveals that we have sakuin, or an index. It's exceedingly helpful. I can't name off the top of my head any games that have this. I know that I have several games that have indexes or glossaries, which I think are just fantastic. They do add on administrative work during the development phase, or maybe a little bit after, but they are really, really nice to have. This is the last text that you see, followed by contact information for Takara. I doubt any of this is relevant now. We've also got a blank quest map on the next to last page, should you wish to photocopy this and make your own quests. What a novel idea. In Chapter 2, players must learn the intermediate rules. The magician and the elf can now use intermediate magic. Heroes can choose to take one action out of each of A and B. A, move or use a healing potion. B, combat magic or search, the order not mattering. Dungeons have traps, there are hidden doors, hidden treasures. The dwarf can disarm traps. You can use equipment, such as weapons and armor. You can now save up gold and attempt to level up. Intermediate magic includes healing and holy flame. This section specifically is going to be talking about trap searching. We just got through treasure search. I am a really big fan of how trap searches work in this version of the game. The trap search is conducted to find hidden doors and traps, and at any one time you can either search all the passage that you can see or a single room. If you can see both a room and a passage or multiple rooms, then you can choose and declare which part you want to search. You can actually search rooms from outside in the corridor as long as you can see into the room. Basically, we only have 3 types of traps in the base game, and there were no expansions tragically released for the Japanese version of HeroQuest. I would love to have seen what they would have done with a Keller's Keep or Return of the Witch Lord. I think in particular, Return of the Witch Lord would have been epic with this level up system, and I'm absolutely certain they would have continued on with the mechanics in the core game to introduce a progression that extends beyond what we find here in the Neef Island campaign. We have notes here on what happens when the dwarf searches for treasures because, not treasures, traps, and not searches for, but disarms, because the dwarf always is going to have some sort of advantage. This next section discusses how to deal with equipment, specifically how to buy equipment. You can do this after Quest 3 in Chapter 1 before Chapter 2 starts. This next section clarifies equipment trading, armor, stacking, and shows that selling is actually a part of the base game system. Clarification on how to use healing potions, which is definitely different in this version of the game, and then the section on how to level up and what that entails. It's not quite an overpowered thing like you might think it is, but you can continue to level up throughout your quest and get more and more added to your maximum BP. Starting from Chapter 3, the players must now learn and incorporate the advanced rules, in which the magician and elf can now use the 4 elements of magic based on the magic's energy source: air, fire, earth, and water. We're all familiar with these. The only difference is that the elf actually picks a suit of cards first, then the magician takes the remaining 3. The intermediate and basic magic can still be used. This will not take away the permanent 1 BP per turn healing spell that can be used, but otherwise the this magic works the exact same, with cards being discarded once they are used. Also, enemies are now considered obstacles that block projectile attacks and magic, and you can now add optional rules. It's crazy to me that the optional rules are just the ones that we follow by default in the Western versions. It's if there's monsters in the room, you can't search for traps, secret doors, or treasure. Like, these are optional challenges. Like, yeah, lay it on me. And finally, just this extremely good-natured, good-willed page explaining how to play effectively the role of the Demon King and the facilitator of the game. Even though there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with it, make sure that your players have fun. I consider this a cornerstone of HeroQuest and mandatory to follow, so it's really good to see it all really explicitly laid out here for this version of the game. The timeless tip that the ultimate way to enjoy the game is to make custom dungeons, along with what is my favorite line in this entire manual. And yeah, I'm realizing that I absolutely need to print off the English translation of the rulebook so that I can keep that with this game. And then whenever I want to play Japanese HeroQuest, I can just bust this out and we can play together. That's right, it's an open invitation. Come to my house, play HeroQuest with me. Specifically, let's play Japanese HeroQuest. Nihon no HeroQuest ga sobimashou. Like I said, kindergarten levels. It's time for the meat and potatoes section of this video, the quest book. After all, what good are rules if we don't have quests to play? Where I believe there may be minor similarities to the UK-US counterparts of these quests, I will consult the UK version of the quest book. I also have my translation at the ready. Before we go any further, I would love if anybody can update me on whether or not the PDF for the Japanese translation has been updated or rearranged in such a way that when it is printed, it consumes the least amount of paper. I have these basically printed out, one quest per sheet of paper, and printing these out in the correct order to where they're double-sided is not simply a matter of putting the paper in, printing a quest, flipping it over, and printing another quest. None of the quest books are actually arranged that way. If you take any of your quest books, classic, modern, even one from another game, and open it up, you'll see, like for example, on the trial, the sheet of paper, the actual sheet of paper that has the trial map is not the same sheet of paper that has the quest text for the trial. This is actually a different sheet of paper. The other half of the trial's map is the page on which the Return to Barrack Tor quest text is printed, and then the next page is the Rescue of Sir Ragnar map, which is paired with the Quest of the Spirit Blade text, and it's arranged in this way so that the middle page, which in this case is the Designing Your Game text, and the blank quest map can be saddle stitched, and the whole thing can be closed. I would love to have my book arranged exactly like this. I would actually highly appreciate if anybody can point me in the direction of a tool that could rearrange PDFs in this way. I would love to print out not just this quest book, but other things that I have found and want to print and saddle stitch together, since I actually have a saddle stapler. Quest 1 in the quest book is not the trial. It is Kadameshi, or Test of Strength. Now, it does have similarities to the trial. The trial, after all, is a test of strength. Here are the map differences. They are definitely not trying to kill you off as soon as possible in this version of the game, and we're even looking at the UK version of this map, which is already easier than the US version. I say that, although you will note that there are more monsters and or stronger monsters put in place of the monsters that you might be used to playing these exact same quests, but bear in mind that the monsters in the UK version do have the single body point. It's much easier to walk into a UK room with 2 Chaos Warriors and a Fimir than it is to walk into a US room with just 2 Chaos Warriors. Again, general layout seems to be almost the same, with intentions to explore being roughly the same, but they are different enough that I would not even call this plagiarism if I saw this quest submitted to one of my jams. This would be an absolutely different quest. Although we still have Varag. Varag is not a foul gargoyle. Varag is actually the name of this monster, known in this edition as the Mono Lizard. I will read to you the translation provided by HispaZargon here. Quest 1, Test of Strength. There are 3 ancestral treasures on Neef Island. These treasures have been stolen. This appears to be the work of a group of monsters that have recently been on a rampage on the island, led by a monolizard named Varag. Go to their lair in the foothills of Fuji Volcano, defeat their leader, Varag, and bring back the 3 treasures. If you succeed in this quest, then you will be awarded 50 gold each regardless of how you performed. Heroes, work together to complete this quest. The quest rules are as such. For rooms A, B, and C, the Demon King should say the following to the heroes who open these chests. The treasure chest contained one of Neef Island's treasures. The hero who opened the treasure chest should take the chest and place it in front of him. This treasure must be returned to the King of Neef Island. Virag has no special abilities. The Demon King controls him as a normal monster, following its monster card. And when D is opened, the Demon King should say the following. The mono lizard in this room is Virag, the leader of the monsters in this lair. At the end of the quest, the heroes who have accomplished this quest should add 50 gold to the gold section of their character sheets. The King of Neef Island says this. Good work. As promised, here is 50 gold for each of you. I now have a good idea of your strength. The truth is that I have a request I would like to entrust to your skills. You must never speak a word about it to anyone else. Will you accept my request? Continue to Quest 2. Quest 2 is Digos no Toride, or Digos' Fort. It bears no resemblance to the original rescue of Sir Ragnar whatsoever. The used room configuration does bear a strong resemblance to Lair of the Orc Warlord, but the similarities end there. The truth is that my cute granddaughter, Princess Meek, was kidnapped and taken to the land of Ushiel. I am suspicious of Digos' Fort there. Go to the fort and investigate it. If you find out where the princess is, please bring her back here. I'll give you each 100 gold in compensation up front. If you reunite me with the princess, then I will tell you an even greater secret. I dearly hope I can entrust you to bring the princess back safely. Quest rules are as such. For Quest Note A, when this door is opened, the Demon King should say the following. There is a message written on the wall in a code from Neef Island. This is Princess Meek. I managed to get away when I had the chance. I am hiding somewhere in this dungeon. Please rescue me. This treasure chest contains 100 gold. The Dark Warrior should not leave this room. When the Dark Warrior is defeated, the Demon King should say the following. Suddenly you hear a loud noise from the fireplace and it starts to crumble away. You spot a hidden door that was hidden where the fireplace was. The Demon King should remove the fireplace and put a hidden door tile at the square marked on the map with an arrow. Heroes and monsters can both freely pass through this hidden door. We have a treasure chest that contains 50 gold. The treasure chest contains a message from the princess and a jewel. I was hiding here for so long, but they finally found me. I'm about to be taken somewhere else. I leave this for you. Please, rescue me. You now know the princess isn't in this dungeon. This ends the quest. You should leave the dungeon immediately. Also, the hero who found this treasure chest takes the jewel, which is worth 100 gold. Add it to his character sheet. The heroes ask residents of Digos for information and decide to head to the Fortress of Pain, far to the east, continued in Quest 3. So far, we've gone from Neef Island to Digos, now to the Island of Pain. Presumably, we are traveling by ship the entire time because we haven't had to go through Biala or the White Mountain. Quest 3 is Fortress of Pain. We don't have an analog for this in the original quest book, but I have to say, this doesn't look like any Fortress of Pain, but more of a fun house, a place to absolutely slay a ton of foes and get gold. Following what they heard from residents of Digos, the heroes have arrived at Fortress of Pain. It seems Princess Meek is being held captive in this fortress. Find Princess Meek and bring her back safely. Your reward will be 150 gold each. The hero who finds the princess will be given an extra 100 gold. The princess will be rescued when she steps onto the stairs tile. However, if the princess dies, you can no longer succeed in this quest. Although this adventure is defined as a quest, I would venture to guess that if the princess dies, it would be a valid reason to terminate the game completely and have the heroes start over from the beginning of this quest. We have a treasure chest that contains 100 gold at Quest Note A, but we have a symbol in the corner of the room containing Quest Note B, and when this room is discovered, the Demon King should say the following. You have found Princess Meek, but the moment you opened the door, alarms rang out throughout the dungeon. All monsters, furniture, and doors in the dungeons will be placed. All doors will be opened. The princess can be moved by the hero who found her by rolling one die on his turn. If the princess steps onto the stairs tile, she is saved. The princess cannot attack enemies, but can defend herself if attacked by rolling one combat die. The princess has 3 BP remaining. Use the Evil God miniature for Princess Meek. The mechanics of this quest definitely echo the rescue of Sir Ragnar. The distance that the princess has to travel seems to be quite a bit less though, or at least fraught with less opportunity for enemies to attack. They definitely wanted you to be able to guard her and to take pride in your strategy to guard the princess from the evil minions of Grimdead. Having safely returned Princess Meek to Neef Island, the heroes are told the following. The princess The princess says, "A magician named Balor kidnapped me. He was desperate for me to tell him about the Talisman of Lore." The king says, "It seems a man named Grimdead has started calling himself the Dark Demon King and plans to take over the world. Balor is a subordinate of Grimdead's and his right-hand man. Rumors say that Grimdead is using ancient and forbidden evil spells to try and revive a terrifying evil god. If that happened, it may be the end of the world. Please use your strength to put an end to Grimdead's ambitions. This is the Talisman of Lore that they were after. Take it. It will be of help to you. You should begin by heading to Wei. We may not see each other for a while, so I bid you good health and farewell. You have obtained the Talisman of Lore. The hero who found the princess should take the Talisman of Lore from the legendary treasure cards pile." And now we continue to Quest 4. The next quest, Ruins of Wei, should look familiar because it bears a strong resemblance to the map layout of Prince Magnus's Gold. However, again, the similarities end there. Different corridors are blocked off, enemy configurations are different. This is not the mission to carry back heavy chests of gold. Although this isn't the quest where we fight Balor either. I'm so happy. I'm like a kid in a candy store. This is just so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. These materials are all available for everybody to enjoy. You can already play this at your leisure, thanks to the efforts of HispaZargon. But to have this in front of me in its original Japanese format is just, it's awesome. Following the advice from the king of Neath, the heroes have arrived at Wei. Wei is home of ancient ruins where heroes trained back at the times when people were once menaced by the powers of darkness. Now it is abandoned and is home of only monsters. Here, you should investigate how the old heroes fought against the powers of darkness. You may find something of value. The quest rules are as such. For quest note A, if a hero conducts a treasure search in this room, he finds a shield that still works in the weapons rack. Right from the get-go, how nice of them. Take a shield from the equipment card pile, but if there are no more shields remaining, the hero can sell the shield he found at the weapon shop, receiving 75 gold. We have a treasure chest containing 200 gold, and a trapped treasure chest. When this is opened, a small explosion occurs, and the hero that opened it loses 2 BP. But if a trap search has been conducted, then let the heroes know what will happen when this treasure chest is opened. Quest note D, if a hero conducts a treasure search in this room, he finds a scroll and a jewel. The Demon King should say the following: "The scroll contains a prophecy, which reads, when humans once again are forced into suffering by the powers of darkness, open this scroll. Ye 4 heroes, visitors to this land, the evil god's return is near. There is but one way to smite the evil god. Attack in the order of fire, ice, and silver. You should find my descendants at White Mountain. Go there, hear their words, and save the world from the powers of darkness. Also, the jewel is worth 200 gold. The hero who found it should add this money to their character sheet. This quest is now complete. You should leave the dungeon immediately." The end of quest text reads, "It appears that the evil god is truly about to be resurrected. Attack in the order of fire, ice, and silver. What could this method to defeat the evil god mean? If the heroes wish to stop the resurrection of the evil god, proceed to quest 5. Otherwise, proceed to quest 7. There's no gotcha here. The heroes can free and clear resume this campaign from quest 7, skipping over 5 and 6 completely, and they'll still be able to complete the campaign if they do so. But why would you want to do that? Why the quest diverges here and the heroes are given any kind of choice is beyond me, but it is what it is. We will continue on to quest 5, however, because I can see no reason to skip good content. Quest 5 is called Dread Castle. Something within me stirred. I just knew that this was the analog to Return to Barak Tor, not just in quest room configuration and map exposure overall, but also in mechanic, which you shall soon see. Really? You had to rotate the tomb 90 degrees? The heroes have crossed the sea and arrived in the kingdom of Grimdead. The castle in which Grimdead has made his home is known here as Dread Castle. This is where he is attempting to revive the terrible evil god. Will the heroes be able to stop the resurrection of the evil god? They do not know the details of how to defeat the evil god. Will the heroes be able to escape with their lives if the evil god has already been revived? You have no idea what you will find during this quest. You can clear this quest by simply escaping alive. If you are worried, you may skip this quest and proceed to quest 6. Giving us every opportunity to run away, I see. We enter this dread castle and we begin our descent. We have a few mandatory skirmishes no matter which way we go, but then quest note A, When a hero tries to open these doors, the Demon King should tell him the following. You can sense a suspicious presence inside this room, but the door has been sealed by magic and won't open. We have a bog standard gargoyle here with no quest note. Instead, the quest note is attached to the treasure chest. The treasure chest contains a small red jewel. It is a magical jewel called the Dragon Eye and allows all the heroes who return alive from this dungeon to attempt to level up for free. The magical powers of the Dragon Eye will vanish after all the heroes have attempted to level up, but it also has a value of 200 gold. The hero who found it should add 200 gold to their character sheet. That is an amazing value. It's expensive to level up in this game, and to offer every hero a chance to level up is amazing. When a hero enters the room with quest note C, the Demon King should tell them the following. You find the evil god lying on the grave. When you enter the room, the evil god's head turns to face you with a clunk. The evil god was just revived. Having just been revived, it only has the strength of a zombie, but none of the hero's weapons are able to damage it. It appears the only way to survive is to run away. Heroes, hurry back to the stairs to escape the dungeon. The Demon King should place the evil god figure in the spot marked X and remove the grave. The evil god has the following abilities: 4 movement, 2 attack, and does not take damage from any attack. If the heroes manage to escape Dread Castle, the end of quest text reads, the evil god has been revived. The heroes must head to White Mountain to find a way to defeat the evil god. Having barely escaped from Dread Castle with their lives, the heroes must cross the sea once more. Homebrew for this particular version of the campaign would definitely include the ability to perform functions while you are on your ship, and perhaps spend some gold to maintain the repair of your ship and to avoid events such as plague-ridden rats boarding. I think this would be a fantastic addition for somebody to homebrew up. Why are you looking at me like that? A little bit of a change of scenery before we advance into the next quest. And the next quest is a change of scenery. Quest 6 is Ghost Ship. This one definitely has no analog in the quest book in terms of its design, flow, map, theme, but the text reads, you find the sea beginning to freeze over and wonder if it is the work of the evil god. With still 2 days until you reach the mainland, you find a stranded ship calling for your help. They beg you to examine someone who has fallen ill. So the heroes enter the ship and follow a member of the crew guiding them through a series of dimly lit passages. When they enter a large room, their guide suddenly turns around and bids you goodbye with a beaming grin before vanishing before your eyes. The heroes finally realize that they have walked into a trap. Finding the stairs and escaping is the goal of this quest. However, there is still one advantage. This ghost ship is likely to be hiding piles of treasures. Alright, so there is one analog. Race Against Time in the original HeroQuest has a guide leading you into a dungeon that is rumored to hold a great secret, who leads you down many dark corridors, and finally you find yourself in a room with 3 doors. Suddenly the guide puts out the torch, and in the darkness you hear him laugh. This quest is substantially different though, however, despite its similar opening. You must escape or perish in this dark, forgotten hole, rather than the promise of treasures, and there honestly aren't many treasures to be found. Not in Race Against Time, anyway. Ghost Ship, however, is substantially different in terms of quest notes and map design. Not to mention, you are in the center room. That is where you start this quest. There are 2 doors, clearly, leading in and out of this room, but also 2 secret doors. You will not find the stairs without looking for secret doors in this quest. But there are still many paths that will result in dead ends even after fervent adventuring. We have a treasure chest that contains 100 gold, a treasure chest that contains 200 gold. The 100 gold is the only good thing about the left path. The 200 gold, the only good thing about the bottom path, although we do have a series of pit traps that will help you find your inner child as you leap in and out of them. A golden bracelet hidden in the cupboard in quest note C. If you take the northern path, it is worth 200 gold. And that's about all the good that the other paths can get you. When you take the eastern path, you are taking the one true route out of this ship. We have a cloth bag containing 50 gold next to the corpse of a victim to the ghost ship, somebody who has been led down these passages before and who has perished, and somehow, for some reason, had a tomb erected in this room in their honor. Thought this was very interesting. The monsters in these rooms marked E cannot move. They can still attack and defend. I think we need more monsters like this in HQ. Monsters that are able to engage in combat, but you can stay well out of their range. Still, you do have to battle the zombie in the northern part. That's mandatory. And, well, actually, you have to battle all of them. You have to battle all of them to actually get through to the last secret door. If they don't move, then they must perish. After leaving out the secret door to the southeast and then traveling north up the corridor, you reach room F with the stairs. And the Demon King will now tell the heroes the following. Finally, you have found the exit, but the ghost ship's captain is blocking you from getting through this room. Defeat the ghost ship's captain and step on to the stairs tile, and this quest will be over. Use the evil god figure for the ghost captain. The hero who defeats the ghost ship's captain will receive 150 gold. We need more examples of that happening too. He can move 6, attack 4, defend 4, but only has 2 BP and has no mind points. After destroying the ghost ship, the heroes head to White Mountain to find a way to defeat the evil god. But the seer at White Mountain, Sistella, says, "You must undergo a test." And now we continue to Quest 7. And Quest 7 is where you would originally go if you decided to skip Quest 5 and 6 at the end of Quest 4. White Mountain. Something of the White Mountain. Let's take a look. Quest 7 is Trial of the White Mountain. We don't have a quest that approximates this one in the English versions of the game, but we do have a trial. Now that said, this is not like the trial of the main game system or the more local game system with which we are all familiar. You must undergo a test to ascertain that you are truly heroes. Leave this room through the door, then come back in. Nothing could be simpler. If this is enough to make you give up, then it would be a waste of my time to tell you anything. Now go. I will be waiting. If you are playing this game with any other rule set other than the Japanese rule set, this quest is going to absolutely break you, because this is the quest where, as soon as the heroes leave this room one by one, they are teleported to the corners of the map that bear their name. The heroes are going to be separated, with the magician, as he is called, the wizard character in this game, warping here, the dwarf warping here, the elf warping here, and the warrior warping here. That's the barbarian. And they all go to their named spaces. They must reach the X's in their respective quadrants to return back to the stairs. This is not going to be an easy feat, and in fact, you are going to need all of the benefits of having leveled your character up to be able to survive these quadrants. The characters have no way of reaching one another, no way to help each other. Of course, I think the clue should be, hey, as soon as you leave this room and step back in, you'll win the quest. It should be your big, giant, red, flaming sign on fire that something is going to happen, very important, very big, very difficult. But let's just take a look at the magician, for example. You have to reach the X on your quadrant to leave this quest, so you can't just go using pass-through rock to leave and help somebody else out, or you're not going to make it as the wizard. You could definitely use it to pass through this wall, but you have no fewer than 6 monsters to face if you couldn't accomplish that. We have a zombie, which is going to be the strongest of the bunch, a goblin, which you should be able to handle without much issue, 2 skeletons, which is going to be a pain in the butt, and then 2 goblins. You'll definitely want to make use of your entire spell loadout to get through your quadrant, wizard. The dwarf is a little bit different in that we don't have falling rock traps blocking the doors. We have fallen blocks that they've already fallen, blocking the doors as soon as you start this quest. You will have to search for the secret door, and I just imagine this is so funny. You open the door and you place down the rock tile. We really need more of this in the game system. Just environmental storytelling, which I love so much. Then you will be rewarded for your search by having to fight a monolizard. We've got some pit traps, a zombie, we've got a chaos warrior. Sorry, they're called dark warriors in this version of the game. And then through the north, 2 more orcs. All of the treasure chests, by the way, are empty. Our quest notes are explicit about that. You'd think the barbarian should fare a little bit better, and the game system knows that you think that, so you're going to get extra monsters here, and then you're going to get a gargoyle, flat out a gargoyle in the barbarian's quadrant, the warrior's quadrant. The elf has 6 monsters as well, 2 goblins, skeleton, zombie, another trick door. No secrets to really look for unless you want to find the hidden door in this room, and that's really clever. That's very clever. It's kind of cruel. Like, yeah, you've got a trap here, and then you've got a secret door here. We also need more of this. This absolutely is a great solution, objectively the greatest solution to homebrewing a way to get around those pesky traps right in front of doors. Just put a secret door right next to it. Your heroes always had the means to search for the secret door, and if they didn't, that's on them. And then when they're in there complaining about how they couldn't have searched the room for traps, you just say, well, did you search the previous room for secret doors? No, why would I do that? Yeah, it didn't cross your mind that there could be a secret door leading to the exact same room, did it? Yeah, Zargon would absolutely devise a trick just like this. Your final climactic battle with the orc ends this quest for the elf, and then the large amount of flavor text is read to end the trial of White Mountain. Seer Testella tells you the following: please forgive me. What I have to tell you is truly important enough to necessitate your test. The evil god's powers are truly terrifying. Grimdead is trying to use the evil god's powers to take over the world, but he is mistaken. Even if he uses the evil god's power, the world has no future but destruction. There is only one way to defeat the evil god. Damage it in the order of fire, ice, and silver. Fire means an attack with a weapon of fire. Ice means an attack with a weapon of ice. And silver means an attack with a weapon of silver. These weapons are legendary treasures and could be hidden anywhere in the world, or otherwise they could already have fallen into Grimdead's hands. King of Godot knows much about the legendary treasures, but recently, King of Godot has been acting strangely. The only reason could be that he's being controlled by the powers of darkness. Go to Godot and save the king and have him tell you about the legendary treasures. The evil god has still not been fully resurrected. When the seas fully freeze over, the evil god's power will have fully returned. The evil god will freeze the entire world, then transform, then burn the whole world to nothing. If that were to happen, there would be no way to stop it. There is truly not much time left. Please, save the world. As he says this, he hands 150 gold to each of the heroes. They should add 150 gold to their character sheets, and this continues in Quest 8. The kana used for the seer's name, by the way, is Tsutera. I don't disagree with the romanization. We move on into Quest 8, another quest sadly afflicted by these spots in the book, which I will correct. Quest 8 is called Curse of Darkness. It's kind of easy to flip through the quest book and say, oh yeah, this is kind of similar to that one, but it really doesn't mirror any of the quests. This is Godot's castle. It has been taken over by monsters and the king has turned violent. Save King of Godot from the dark curse placed on him. You must not hurt the king. If you defeat the monsters controlling the king, he should regain his sanity. The goals of this quest are to save the king and have him tell you about the legendary treasures. Everything about this quest looks really entertaining though. It really looks like just a great original HQ quest. Quest notes are in very interesting places. I like these directional arrows and these tiles overlaid with the lines. We're going to find out shortly what they mean. The area marked with diagonal lines is a barrier and you cannot get near it until you remove it. If a hero tries to move to a square with a triangle on it, the Demon King should tell him the following: an invisible wall blocks your way. That's great. I love that. When a hero enters room B, that is to say, this one, the Demon King should say you can hear a faint but high-pitched noise. And if a hero conducts a treasure search in this room, the barrier will be removed. The Demon King should say the following: beneath the torture rack, you find a small button. When you pushed this button, the whole castle shook, and the noise you could hear was silenced. C is a room full of treasure chests, but unfortunately they belong to the castle, so you cannot take them. When a hero enters room D, the Demon King should say, the king is cursed by the powers of darkness. Do not attack the king. The king rolls 2 combat dice to attack. If you defeat the monsters controlling the king, he will regain his sanity. That shouldn't be too difficult. There are only 2 orcs to defeat. By the way, I thought it was really clever. You will start this quest in this room. Somebody probably will be searching for secret doors, but if you don't and you leave, you'll immediately come to the hallway and then be blocked after fighting the goblin. So you'll find out about the invisible barrier pretty quick. The king can attack the heroes, but should not leave the room. Use the evil god figure for the king. The dark warriors can attack and defend in the E notes, and there are 4 of them, unfortunately, all around the room. But they can't move. When the 4 dark warriors are all defeated, the curse on the king is lifted. All of the monsters in the castle are destroyed, and the quest ends. So you defeat these orcs, and then the king is able to move around and attack you, of course, but he's still going to attack you, which is going to lead the heroes into thinking that there are more threats. They've probably seen the dark warriors outside the room. They probably realized maybe that the dark warriors can't move because they may have moved back and forth and up and down, and maybe they did a little bit of turning around the corner after defeating one. None of them moved. They've probably caught on. But that ends the quest, and the final quest note for to leaving the quest is: for saving me, let me tell you all about this world's legendary treasures. One is the Talisman of Lore, kept by the King of Neef Island. Another is the Flame Axe that I keep here. The Flame Axe is a weapon of fire. The other 3 treasures are the Wand of Recall, the Freeze Bow, and the Silver Blade. The Wand of Recall is a staff that will be of help to magic users. The Freeze Bow is a weapon of ice, and the Silver Blade is a weapon of silver. These 3 weapons have already fallen into enemy hands. If you go to Ladol, on the land of Rykarm, you can walk on the frozen sea to reach the kingdom of Grimdead. I give you my Flame Axe. Even in this area, we occasionally see drifting chunks of ice. They are proof that the evil god's power is rising. The king gives each of you 500 gold, as if bidding you to level up. The heroes are to attempt to level up. The dwarf takes the Flame Axe. And we will continue on Quest 9. Go Dwarf! Whoever's playing the dwarf character, very, very lucky right now. Very happy. Very, very privileged. We make it to Chapter 3, The Search. We are in Quest 9, Spirit Valley. Oh, I didn't tell you. The game is kind of separated into these arbitrary chapters. They don't mean much mechanically, but we are in Spirit Valley now. It's another original. It doesn't really have an equivalent map in the English editions. From Godo, you headed to the land of Rykarm and reached Spirit Valley. This valley is protected by a gargoyle named Ginim. Ginim gives out bizarre sound waves that assault human minds. Let's check the kana and make sure I'm saying that right. Yes, Ginim. Those without willpower cannot pass, so people began to call it Spirit Valley. It appears that Ginim holds a map showing the location of the legendary treasures. You must defeat Ginim and find this map. This quest will be a harsh trial for the warrior, who has low magic points. Mind points, excuse me. The heroes start in the space labeled Start. Place the stairs marking the exit at the beginning for this quest. Do not place the door of the room the stairs are in. So the heroes will know that this is the general direction they need to go, which is every single direction away from the direction that they start in. Due to the bizarre sound waves in this valley given out by Ginim, each time a hero's turn comes round, he must roll a number of combat dice equal to their MP, and if they do not roll any white shields, he loses 1 BP. That is absolutely nuts, so we need to get through this quest as soon as we can. We have some green skins to fight off. Sorry for switching back and forth between my translated quest and the original quest. I just thought the original quest visually will be just a little bit better to look at. Now the good thing is, even though the very center of this map is completely blocked, we have effectively 2 routes serving to get us to the stairs. There's no wrong way. There are just treasures along the way and monster slowdowns along the way. Ginim is in the room before the stairs. We have quest notes to pay attention to. A treasure chest that contains 100 gold, a treasure chest that contains 100 gold, and if a hero conducts a treasure search in this room, hero will find a jewel worth 200 gold. Ginim's abilities are the same as the ones listed on the Gargoyle monster card. When Ginim is defeated, the bizarre sound waves stop. When this treasure chest is opened, the Demon King should say the following. The treasure chest contains an old map and gold dust. The gold dust is worth 300 gold. You have found the map, so the quest is over. Step onto the stairs tile and leave the valley. The map you have obtained has 5 places marked with scratches from gargoyle claws. The 5 scratches are on Neef Island, Godo, Black Mountain, Star Lake, and Fiend Island. The scratches look new compared to the map. These must be the locations of the legendary treasures, so the heroes waste no time and head to Black Mountain. We are ready to move on to the quest in which we will meet fan favorite Balor. Yes, that's right. We're going to play Magician of Fire. However, the quest looks absolutely nothing like the Fire Mage, the quest that we all know and maybe some of us love. Following the map you found in Spirit Valley, you have arrived at Black Mountain. According to the map, there should be a legendary treasure here. This mountain's dungeon is protected by a magician of fire named Balor. Balor is Grimdead's most trusted underling and uses fire magic. Defeat all the monsters in the dungeon and look for the legendary treasure. The kana would suggest that his name is pronounced Baller, so maybe I'm applying a little bit of unnecessary flavor. Baller uses the fire magic. Baller can use the same magic again and again. In this quest, the magician uses all the magic other than fire magic, and the elf cannot use magic. This right chair is a magical treasure chest. The hero who opens this treasure chest has his BP restored to its maximum. After only fighting a mono lizard, I can imagine this being a slap in the face to the heroes. But if they explore down the corridor first and get through this section, we've got an orc in quest room B and quest room B, quest note B, says if a hero conducts a treasure search in this room, he finds a healing potion in the bookcase. The hero who finds this takes 1 healing potion from the equipment card pile, and if there are no cards, receives 100 gold instead. In the classic quest, we would fight Balor with a host of skeletons in the upper left corner, but here we fight him in the center room. Balor should not move from the square in front of the throne, and the abilities are as follows: 6 squares, 4 attack, 4 defense, 2 body points, and 6 mind points. The UK edition of the game lists him as being able to move 8 squares, attack twice, not attack twice, attack with 2 dice, defend with 5 dice, 7 mind, and 1 body. But we have the same restriction in the quest The Fire Mage. The players may not choose fire spells for this game, but we don't have a restriction on the elf. It's be the same process. Wizard selects 1 suit, elf selects 1, and then wizard gets the last spell suit. It's fun that the quest note specifies Balor should not move from the square in front of the throne, but gives him movement spaces anyway. The flame axe will not work on Balor. Use the evil god figure for Balor. When the heroes defeat Balor, the Demon King removes Balor's figure from the game board, moves the stairs tile to the location marked with X's, and places all the monsters and furniture. Then the Demon King should tell the heroes the following: "The moment he was defeated, Balor cried out a spell, and with a rattling noise, the floor gave way. Beneath the collapsed floor was a staircase, through which 3 goblins appear and carry away Balor. If you defeat all the monsters, this quest will be over. Heroes, defeat the monsters, then go down to the 2nd basement through the stairs in the central room." The heroes headed straight down to the 2nd basement without a break. After winning the quest, add 2 BP to your current points and challenge Quest 11 with the same magic, equipment, and so on. What? We don't have this in the Fire Mage. Race Against Time happens after the Fire Mage in the English quest book, but here we go to Quest 11. Balor's something. Excuse me, hold on. Balor's struggle. There is another level to the dungeon of Black Mountain. Without even a moment to heal their wounds, the heroes headed down to the 2nd basement. The goals of this quest are to defeat all of the monsters in the dungeon and obtain the legendary treasure. So what is Balor's struggle? Why is Balor struggling? Well, that's because of the heroes. We are going to be the reason why he is struggling. Now, this quest does come with a reminder that the heroes challenge this quest in the same state as when they cleared Quest 10. However, each hero recovers 2 BP, though nothing else. Only magic that was not used in Quest 10 can be used. Equipment may not be altered. They cannot attempt to level up either. I just want to give another shout out to the font that was used, the style for the katakana and kanji and everything else. The text in general, I guess I should say, for these quests. It looks really cool. And then we move on to a more readable, more formal text for the quest notes, as it should be. Now this one is pretty straightforward. We do have a couple of paths that widely branch out, which is, I guess, the opposite of straightforward, but you could get lucky and happen upon the right branch. We have a couple of rooms marked A, and the heroes will find healing potions in these rooms as long as the healing potion card is in the deck, as per previous quests. If it's not, the hero can actually attempt, well, it's not an attempt, they will choose between getting 100 gold or healing 2 BP right then and there. We have dangerous monsters in the East Wing. The heroes have a pit to jump over no matter what they do as soon as they leave the center room. And I really love that we start in this center room with the stairs in the same spot as the previous quest. After all, we are a floor above, so this feels very thematic. It feels really like an immersive continuation of the previous quest. Jump over this pit and we get going. If one hero is unlucky enough to choose to go up this side, we're going to trigger a falling block trap and they're going to be separated from the rest of the heroes. There awaits certain doom depending on which hero that is. But regardless, the rest of the heroes are going to have a pit to jump over and another pit to jump over, which they will be joined by their lost comrade at this point, and then face off against a meager 3 goblins, and then finally Balor himself in room B. Balor is still wounded. Balor's abilities are as follows: 4 squares of movement, 3 attack dice, 2 defense dice, and 1 body point. Balor uses the fire magic and can use the same magic again and again. Fire of Wrath, Fire of Wrath, Fire of Wrath, over and over and over. The flame axe again will not work on Balor. When the heroes defeat Balor, the Demon King should tell them the following: "You have finally defeated Balor. The staff in his hand is one of the legendary treasures, the Wand of Recall. The magician takes this staff However, you may not equip it until this quest is over. The hero who defeated Brawler receives 500 gold. This quest ends when all of the monsters in the dungeon are defeated. There are 2 legendary treasures that remain, and the heroes will now head to Star Lake and continue on to quest 12. But they have to defeat the rest of the monsters in this dungeon, which means seeking out and destroying the remainder of the enemies. If you haven't found the secret room with the mummy and the zombie, you must seek them out. If you skipped this corridor, you need to go find it and defeat the rest of these monsters. If you already triggered the falling block trap, you'll need to find this secret door to come up here and defeat these 2 guys if they haven't already been killed. We move on to quest 12. I was wondering when we'd get to this one. This is the mystery of Star Lake, and I don't even need to consult the book to tell you which quest this is an analog of. However, for the uninitiated, I will share with you Castle of Mystery. They took the room layout and they took the die results that lead to the different rooms, but the monster configurations are different for literally every room here. None of the rooms have the same monster configurations as in the English originals. Long ago, our crazy wizard Aller discovered the entrance to a gold mine, and this is one of the most enraging quests in the original because the heroes have to roll dice as soon as they step through any door. These shaded areas here are not just like rock walls. You're actually going to travel to a room that has a number that matches the result of the traveling hero rolling 2 movement dice. We only have 10 rooms because on a roll of 2 or 12, you will make it back to the beginning room. But your goal in this sort of side quest is to grab the treasure chest and bring it back. Spoiler alert, only to find out that all of the gold found in the mine is fool's gold. Any other treasure that is found is real. But the treasure chest is 5,000 gold coins of fool's gold. It's worth nothing. The wandering monster in this quest is the ghost of Aller, who chuckles madly and disappears. You too would be the wandering monster, appearing and cackling madly only to disappear if people wandered into your mind to get your fake gold. But now, we will move on to the Japanese version of this quest, Mystery of Star Lake, and the flavor text reads, "The heroes have arrived at Star Lake. At the river bank, they find stairs leading down. At the top of the stairs is a sign reading, 'Do not enter. Danger.' You will soon discover the dungeon's secret when the quest begins. The goal of this quest is to find the legendary treasure and escape safely." We don't have Aller's ghost cackling madly. We will simply use the regular wandering monster if we draw those treasure cards. The Demon King should tell the heroes the following as soon as they start. "In this dungeon, you are warped somewhere each time you leave a room through a door. You can only leave a room once in each round's movement. When a hero leaves a room, he rolls 2 dice. The Demon King moves the hero's figure to the entrance of the room with a total number rolled on the dice written in it. If it is blocked, move the figure to a nearby empty square instead. This treasure chest contains 200 real gold pieces, and this treasure chest contains 300 real gold pieces. There is a jewel, not in the weapons rack, Ash. There is a jewel in the chest of drawers, and it is worth 500 real gold pieces. And you will find one of the legendary treasures, the silver blade, in the weapons rack. The warrior takes the silver blade. However, he may not equip it until this quest is over. To defeat the evil god, you must obtain the last remaining legendary treasure, the freeze bow. The heroes headed to Fiend Island. If you didn't figure it out by now, Fiend is an anagram of Neef. I think there's a different word for that. It's got the same letters, but it's also that word when it's spelled backwards, not just when you mix the letters. Regardless, we're going to quest 13, the penultimate quest in this quest book. We are going to the Temple of Ice. The heroes have arrived on Fiend Island. A temple made of ice stands imposingly on the frozen seas near Fiend Island. Obtain the final legendary treasure, the weapon of ice, the freeze bow. This quest does, rightfully so, mirror the Bastion of Chaos in many ways. Enemy layout is extremely similar, with some of the enemies being swapped for easier enemies and some being swapped for harder enemies, curiously enough. For example, in Temple of Ice, we are missing the orc from the fireplace room that is present in Bastion of Chaos. However, the 2 goblins waiting to ambush a hero in the south corridor have been replaced by 2 orcs. All of the rooms present in Bastion of Chaos have been used here, with some of the pit traps being removed, some being added in new places, a new falling rock trap, and a new opening to the corridor north of the center room that's blocked off in the Bastion of Chaos. Finally, we are missing the gargoyle in Room B. That quest note has been changed to Room A of Bastion of Chaos, and Room A is now the room just to the right in Bastion of Chaos. I think that it's interesting that this quest has this room actually opened up. The translation goes on to shade that room for us, but you could consider this an error, or you could say, hey, if one of your heroes actually happens to pass into this room, well, they're not going to be game over forever right then and there. Rather, they will suffer the rest of the quest stuck in this room. I think they did forget to just shade it out, actually. The treasure chest in room A is trapped. If a hero opens the treasure chest without conducting a trapped search, poison spike pierces their hand and they lose 1 BP. Also, the poison spreads through their body and they must skip 2 turns. During that time, they cannot defend themselves, and that is a great use of the poison status effect in HeroQuest. A game that's very, very difficult to have status effects like this because of the scarcity of body points that you can simply lose. Quest Note B says, if a hero conducts a treasure search in this room, he finds a replica of the silver blade in the weapon rack. It cannot be used, but it's worth 350 gold. Must be a really nice replica. The quest notes are in this corner, although we do start here. It is assumed that we're going to be battling through a few hordes of goblins, possibly exploring the northern quadrant available in this quest. There are no quest notes here. The monsters are pretty scarce, and we do then have easy access to the center room. The same can be said if we just head directly right, and in fact, the only room that we need to pass through is room A after fighting the 2 goblins over here in order to be able to take on the goblin, jump the pit, and get to the center room. This would be the easier route of the 2. Actually, I don't know if I would agree with that, because fighting 2 orcs at the same time versus fighting 1 Famir, ganging up on it, then ganging up on another Famir, I know, they're mono lizards, or ganging up on the last orc, I guess it's a matter of taste. Doesn't really matter. These end the same way, although the treasure search in quest room C will yield 300 gold in the chest of drawers. When you get to the center room and open the door, the Demon King reads the following. The weapon the Dark Warrior is holding is one of the legendary treasures, the Freeze Bow. The Dark Warrior uses the bow. When attacking distant enemies, it rolls 4 combat dice. When attacking enemies and touching squares, it attacks as stated on its monster card. The hero who defeats the Dark Warrior receives 200 gold. The elf takes the Freeze Bow. However, he may not equip it until this quest is over. That is all of the legendary treasures done and dusted, and now we've made it to the end of the quest, and we will read the text such. Thusly, finally, you have obtained all the legendary treasures. Now it is time to defeat the evil god. Before proceeding to the final chapter, the heroes should attempt to level up. This time, if they can pay the costs, each hero can attempt to level up as many times as he wants. You should gather everyone's gold together and discuss among yourselves how many times each hero should attempt to level up. We will continue on to Quest 14, the final quest in the Japanese version of HeroQuest. Quest 14 is the final battle and is the first, last, and only entry in the final chapter, the Showdown. Again, these chapters are just arbitrary groupings of quests that occur. This map should look very familiar by now. This is a return to Quest 5's Dread Castle, and we know this in the West as Barak Tor. By now, there have been many versions of this. Barak Tor, Barrow of the Witch Lord, is the first time that we encounter the actual entity. When we return to Barak Tor, some of the passages and rooms have been closed off to us, others have been opened, presumably because the Witch Lord has burst through any rooms blocking his path with raw power, raw undead power. Similarly, Quest 14 is obviously set in the same place as Quest 5. The room layout is very much the same, except we have access to more rooms, and the monster configuration is different. One notable difference between this version of the final quest and the Western version of the quest is that when we return to Barak Tor, we basically only have undeads to fight. Our final quest in the game system is just fighting a bunch of undeads, and then fighting the Witch Lord, who himself is an undead. In the Japanese version, however, we have orcs, we have goblins, we have dark warriors, we have a gargoyle, we have mono lizards. They're all here. The gang is all here. Before digging into the flavor text, I wanted to go over the differences between the stats of our big bad evil guy. The Witch Lord moves 10 squares, attacks with 5 dice, and defends with 6, while the evil god moves with 8 squares, attacks with 4 combat dice, and defends with 4 combat dice. That's 2 less, 1 less, and 2 less, respectively, than the Witch Lord. The Witch Lord has 4 mind points and 1 body point, and can't be harmed by any weapon other than the Spirit Blade, nor is affected by any spell. Similarly, the evil god cannot be affected by any spell. However, the evil god's body points and mind points are both listed as unknown. There's a very good reason for that, and we're going to dig into that right now. We put away the Western version of the quest book. To read, the heroes have returned to Dread Castle. It is time for the final battle. Failure will not be permitted. Defeat the evil god, put an end to Grimdead, and bring peace back to the world. Concise, epic, straightforward. Let's go. I'm so hyped already. We can leave the stairs in the lower left corner of this quest, as we have done presumably dozens of times by now across the different editions and versions of this game, to travel up the northern corridor. If we revisit the grave of the Witch Lord, we find the grave is already empty. We fight through a small spattering of undead and one orc before going north to continue our journey, fighting a mono lizard, a couple of orcs, and a mummy. If you happen to search for a secret door, well, too bad, you fool. It's one dark warrior, and you should have learned your lesson in the Western version of the quest. Traveling along the northern corridor, you have an unnecessary undead room, and then another one that is unfortunately necessary. 2 dark warriors and a gargoyle. A secret room brings you to a mono lizard and a weapons rack with nothing on it that you can use. A corridor that forks into 2 dead ends with goblins waiting to ambush you. Another split with 2 more ambushing goblins. And no choice but to wrap around the southeastern corridor. You can explore the southeast quadrant, and when you do, you will find in Quest Room B, the evil god has recovered the powers of darkness and is a tough opponent. You must attack and deal 2 damage or more with each of the weapons in this order: the weapon of fire, the flame axe, the weapon of ice, the freeze bow, then the weapon of silver, the silver blade. If any attack fails, the evil god will not be defeated. The evil god heals all damage on its turn. The evil god can attack twice on each turn, making him very formidable, and the requirement that each hero in succession must attack him in that specific order means the stakes are high. To aid in this, the quest actually rules that for this quest, the heroes take turns in the order of wizard, then dwarf, then elf, then warrior. The wizard will actually lead this party, or they might not lead, but they will take their turn first after Grimdead. Also of note in this quest, the wizard uses all the magic. The elf cannot use magic. If a hero conducts a search in this room, a small key is found in the corner of the room, and this is the key to enter the central room. There isn't much left to do but to explore the dungeon, avoid traps, and get to the center room, the last room in the campaign, marked D. This door can only be opened by the hero holding the key. When this door is opened, the quest is over. The Demon King should remove all monsters from the game board and say the following. A blood-curdling voice rings out in the empty room. Heroes, how dare you ruin my plans? I admit defeat for now, but as long as the yearning for darkness exists deep in human hearts, the powers of darkness can never be destroyed. Someday, this world will surely come to be ruled by darkness without fail. Turning the page, we make it to the final 2 pages of the quest book, the end quest text, and our sheet of paper that explains all of the monsters and gives them a little bit of lore. We have translations for that as well, so we will move right into that. Cue the triumphant music. The heroes have finally driven away the powers of darkness. As they leave the castle, they see the morning sun has begun to rise in the sky to the east. The frozen sea has also begun to melt. Now that the evil god has been defeated and the dark demon king Grimdead has vanished, this castle will no longer be known as Dread Castle. From today on, it will become a symbol of justice, so that the powers of darkness will never come back. The heroes decide to name the castle as Peace Castle. I'm sure that's going to work. Everyone praised the heroes' bravery and built statues of them back on Neef Island. The story of the 4 heroes will be passed down and is certain to become a legend upon Neef Island. Since that day, nobody has ever seen Grimdead again, yet he was a man who controlled so much dark power. Perhaps he is proceeding with a new plan for world domination somewhere else. But no matter what powers of darkness attempt to take over the world, without fail, new heroes will appear to save the world, just like the heroes in a certain legend. The end. We have our wax seal, but there is no mention whatsoever of any character named Mentor nor Morcar, so the wax seal was a holdover taken. I don't even think our king starts with an M, right? Like none of the characters have got an M in their name, right? No, he's just the king of Neef Island. I suppose there's no reason why you couldn't name the king of Neef Island. Perhaps you could name him Mentor. And I just want to show you the translated sheet, which of course you can get for yourself. The printing of this is not poor quality at all. It's actually mimicking the exact same quality level of the quest book's last page. It is pretty lacking. I mean, they dithered the heck out of these images, or I guess they did their best with just the one color that they used to print the manual, or the quest book on, rather. Goblin, a small and cruel green monster. It's small, but it will try to hurt you. Skeleton, a warrior's bony corpse controlled by the powers of darkness. It is brutal, but it moves slowly. Zombie, like the skeleton, this corpse was revived by the power of dark magic. It still has rotten muscles and blood. It always carries a cleaver with him. Orc. Orcs are the same kind of monsters as goblins. However, they are larger and more powerful than a goblin. Mono lizard, a lizard-like monster stronger even than an orc. Mono lizards often have orcs and goblins under their control. Mummy, a corpse that has been preserved so that it will not rot in the darkness. It is driven with more powerful magic than skeletons and zombies. It is dangerous in single-handed fights. Dark warrior, a warrior who has succumbed to the power of darkness. He is dressed in armor and wields a cursed weapon. He has great physical strength, so it is difficult to defeat him. And Gargoyle, a monster made by giving life to a stone statue of a terrifying monster with the magic of darkness. It is very difficult to scratch its stone skin in combat. And that, my friends and kind viewers, is the complete and total overview, with a deep look at every single quest, and what is hopefully, surely, to be the longest, most in-depth video on the subject of the Japanese HeroQuest to exist, and is one of the longest videos on this channel, at least one that's not a live stream. I hope you enjoyed this extremely deep dive into the Japanese HeroQuest, and I hope you can understand why this is my grail game. So again, I'm so happy to have gotten this, and again, a huge thank you to the extremely kind viewer who helped me source this copy, locate it so that I could actually acquire it with my own means. I will let them reveal themselves if they wish it in the comments below, as stated. And I'm so glad to be completely through with showing you the contents of this wonderful version of this amazing game. I want to know about everything that you thought about this in the comments below. I've been recording for hours. Grant me your singular comment. And I have an earnest question. Would you like to see any of the other HeroQuest games, game systems, or expansions otherwise reviewed in this exact same way, where we go through every single quest one at a time, where we annotate and call out the different features? I've kind of questioned this before in other videos, but this would be a great example of how that would actually go here on the channel, so do let me know if that's something you'd like to see, and I will seriously consider putting together a series of videos to start doing that. If we do, we're going to start with the game systems Return of the Witch Lord. Why? No other reason other than I get the most excited thinking about that expansion. It's one of my favorites. Thank you again, brave heroes and legendary treasure holders. I will see you in the next exciting adventure. Until then, I bid you a fantastic farewell. For now, onward.